Hey, Booktube, Sean here. Okay, I have a huge book haul for you, and most of it was books that I got for free. So, um, this is going to be a bit on video is going to be a bit on the longer side. I'm going to warn you straight out, but I'm going to try not to ramble too much so that it doesn't get out of hand and take 5 years to upload. And I'm also going to pray that it uploads without issue and without freezing, because I know a few booktubers, including myself, have been having issues with videos uploads freezing when they get almost done and having to delete and restart. So that's annoying, and I'm just going to hope that this long video makes it overnight. But I have some business to take care of first. First of all, sorry for weird lighting. I don't know what's going on, but this is when I have time to film, and I don't got time to deal with trying to figure it out. Second, there has been a lot of small booktuber love going on over the past week and a half, which I love. I love finding new booktubers to check out and supporting us smaller channels. That's awesome. I need to personally thank Mary at Happily Ever Esch, Courtney at The Cortagonist, and Candace at Beacon Hill Books, all of whom have given me wonderful shout outs in the past week. Courtney and Candace just within the past 24 hours of me filming this. And if anybody else has given me a shout out and I have not seen it, I apologize and thank you. I am trying to get as many of the small booktuber shout out videos watched as I can, but my time to watch has not been vast either, as well as my time to film. So I'm hoping to next month do another small booktuber shout out video of my own. But I have gained close to 100 subscribers in the past week and a half through all the small booktuber love going on in the videos and on Twitter. I've been shouted out a few times on Twitter, and thank you to those of you who have done that. I really appreciate it, and welcome to all of you who have come to me in the past week and a half, all the new subscribers. Welcome to my channel. I hope you like what you see and you stick around, because I love I love to have you. Third, I want to update you guys on a decision I have made regarding the channel. I threw it out on Twitter yesterday, I think, 2 days ago, maybe by the time you're seeing this, that my plan is I have started writing on my WordPress blog again actively, and because I have not had a lot of time to film, I've decided that because I mentioned in a previous video earlier this month that I want to go back to doing weekly wrap-ups, kind of bring back, I said I was going to do Friday reads, but really I'm bringing back my weekend books. But for the time being, because I have not had a whole lot of time to film, my weekend books is going to happen over on my WordPress blog. So that is going to be where that happens. Any book reviews, just where, just taking a book and just talking about a single book, not in a wrap-up, just reviewing a book, that is going to happen over on the blog. And I've been putting out some lists of books I want to read and series I want to read and finish over on the blog. So I've got a lot of content that's been happening over on the blog while I have not had time to film. it has been easier lately for me to write a blog post than it has to have time to film, because I can pop open the laptop, and write a blog post and work on a blog post while my wife and I are just watching TV in the evening. So for now, at least for the next month and a half, my weekend books is back, but it is going to be on the blog. Once I get through this musical that my wife and I are directing, and that's up and on its feet and probably over, my time will open up a bit more, and I will try to bring my weekend books back to the channel as well. I won't stop doing it on the blog. I'll just do it in both places. But please do click the link in the description and go over to my WordPress blog and give me a follow over there so you don't miss any of my bookish content, because for a little while there's going to be stuff happening on the blog that does not happen on the channel. The channel is mostly going to be, for right now, bi-monthly wrap-ups and book hauls and maybe a tag video here and there. I may, if I get time, I may film some of the lists I've been doing over there. My 2017 favorites is up over there on the blog, so go and check that out. But anyway, I've been rambling on for 6.5 minutes now. That's what's going on with the channel and the blog. Let's get into this book haul. I'm going to try not to talk too much about any of the books, but here's the story with these books. I went to a convention last weekend, not just this past one, the one before it, and it's a science fiction fantasy literature convention, and there were several authors there. I got lots of autographs, and I'll go over those, but I got a lot of free books there. When you walk in, there's a table where publishers have brought books of authors who are either at the con or just ones that they wish more people would read. So I got some books there, and there's a freebies table where people dump their unwanted stuff, and you can just grab it off the table. So I got a lot of free books. So this is going to be a huge haul. I'm already 7.5 minutes in, so let's get into it. I'm going to try not to make this super long. First thing I picked up, I'm not going to go into a lot of description about the books either. So a lot of these, especially if you follow SFF BookTube, a lot of them are going to be seem familiar to you. First one I picked up is Tigana by Guy Gavriel Kay. Mass market paperback of that. It's a little beat up, but it's free Guy Gavriel Kay, and this is one I've really been wanting to read. You're going to see me moving all over the place too, because they're piles. These next two I'm really, really excited about. I didn't even know these things existed, and when I saw them, I had to snag them up, and I think I may need to find how many there are and the rest of them. I don't know how many of you remember the old British television show, The Avengers. Not Marvel's Avengers. This was a British television show. They made a movie of it set a long time ago with Sean Connery. But there are books of it, and I loved this show. And I found 2 books, and they're just little thin books, and there was 2 of them on the freebies table. One's called the Drowned Queen, and the other is called The Magnetic Man. And I'm so excited about these, and I gotta research these. Next thing I picked up, The Kingdom of the Gods, N.K. Jemisin. This was again off the freebies table, and this is the 3rd book in the Inheritance trilogy. I picked up Robert R. McCannon's Stinger. This is a older horror novel of his, and Robert R. McCannon is a pretty well-known horror author. So this was a cool find. I picked up Shannon McGuire's Chaos Choreography. This is one of the books in the Encrypted series. This is maybe the 4th or 5th book. I don't remember. So I got to go back and get the books before I can read this. But Shannon McGuire is an author I've been enjoying recently. So I'm pretty sure that I'll end up liking this series. So I had no problem grabbing this, and it was free. I was able to get nice hardcover, looks like brand spanking new, of Infomocracy by Malka Older. So that was, I scored really well. A copy of Dan Simmons' Summer of Night. I'm really sorry about this glare, guys. Summer of Night by Dan Simmons, a horror novel of his. A Closed in Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. Again, looks brand new. And this is the second book. This is the sequel to, I can't think of the name of the book right now. Dang it. Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. On the publisher's table, I got a copy of Barbary Station by R.E. Stearns. This is a pretty recent sci-fi novel. It's been being called Lesbian Space Pirates has been a tagline for it. But I've heard really good things about it. I actually have it on my Kindle too, but free physical copy. Yeah, I'm not passing that up. Also on the publisher's table, this one, I was not familiar with the author or the title, but it sounded interesting. This is Winter of Ice and Iron by Rachel Newmeyer. Back to the freebies table. Ann Leckie's Ancillary Mercy, third book in the Imperial Roddick, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, R-A-D-C-H, series, which is a series I want to get into this year, which is on my blog. So go check out that post. Off the freebies table, Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. Now I have this on Kindle and I have read this and I really liked this book, so I was happy to find a really nice physical copy of it for free. Back off of the publisher's table, At the Table of Wolves by Kay Kenyon. Really nice hardcover edition of this. And again, I have this on my Kindle, but free physical copy. Back to the freebies table, China Mieville, The Last Days of New Paris. I read The Census Taker last year and really enjoyed it, so I've been wanting to get into more China Mieville books. This was off the publisher's table, and this is Bookburner Season 1. This is a serial book created by Max Gladstone, and it's written by Max Gladstone, Margaret Dunlap, Mur Lafferty, and Brian Francis Slattery. Each of them, they wrote different episodes of Season 1, and this is where this is going to start, and I'll try and cover these in here. I was able to get it signed by Mur Lafferty and Max Gladstone, so that was awesome. Okay, this one requires a little bit of explanation and some more showing. Okay, so on the freebies table was Borderline by Michelle Baker. Now, I got this book off of the freebie table at the same con last year, but it was this edition. And I got it signed by her last year. But when book 2 came out, they changed the cover. You know how they do that, and we all hate it. And the third book that's coming out, Imposter Syndrome, which she read from this year, will be coming out in a cover design like this. So Saga Press brought the new design of Borderline. So since I have this copy, and my Imposter Syndrome will come in this copy, since I've already pre-ordered it, I had to get this one. And got it signed by her, and I also got my copy of Phantom Pains signed by her. So now every physical book I own of Michelle Baker's, I have signed by her, and if she's at the con next year, I will get my Imposter Syndrome signed by her. I really loved Borderline, so I haven't read Imposter Syndrome yet, but I'm excited to get into it. Back off of the freebies table, The Last Days of Jack Sparks. This is a horror thriller novel that's been popping up on my recommended on Kindle lately. So since I saw a free copy of it, and it's actually, somebody had the ARC and they were just getting rid of it on the freebies table, grabbed that. Now, this is the China Mieville that I have read, but it was free, and I really enjoyed it, so why not grab a free copy of it? Maybe I'll reread it sometime. I got a book called The Art Forger. This is probably about the only non-SFF book that I got at the convention, but it was on the freebies table and it sounded interesting. So The Art Forger by B.A. Shapiro is a historical fiction novel. I was able to get really nice copies of Abaddon's Gate and Shabola Burn, books 3 and 4 of the Expanse series, and this is the book that I'm on. And I have a physical copy down in my basement of the first book, so I just need to get the second book, and I'll have books 1 through 4 in these editions. I got a really nice copy of, I gotta remove the sticker here, but Connie Wilson's Crosstalk. I got Arkwright by Alan Steele, a sci-fi book. I got Somebody Let Go of Their Ark Copy of Provenance by Ann Leckie. This is the first book in her new trilogy set in the world of her other trilogy. Really nice hardcover copy of Tyrant's Throne, book 4 of The Greatcoats. And you all know how I loved the first book of that. So, and I have all 4 books on my Kindle, but again, free copy. Got The Man in the Tree by Sage Walker. Again, this is still off of the freebies table. And the last one off of the freebies table was Charles Stross. It's called Empire Games, and this is set in his Merchant Princes universe. So I need to go back and read the novels that make up the Merchant Princes universe before I start this new series that he's got set in it. But free copy again. So if I end up not liking the Merchant Princes books, I'm not out anything on this one. Okay, so that is the books that I got for free at the con, and you saw which ones I got signed there. Now, I purchased a couple of books at the con. I got Libromancer by Jim C. Hines, and of course, I got it signed by Jim C. Hines, and I actually got to hang out with Jim C. Hines a little at the convention because he's from Michigan, and he is a friend of mine who is on the board of the con. So when I was hanging out with my friend, Jim Hines was hanging out too, so I got to hang out with Jim C. Hines a little bit, so that was really cool. I got a Apex, the publisher Apex was in the dealer room, and they were selling their books, and I got Christy DeMeester's short story collection, Everything That's Underneath. This is a horror collection. I'll go with this one next. Michael R. Underwood, I got to hear him read from this, and he was selling them at the autograph session, so he autographed it for me as well. And this is a series about these people that go into genre stories and fix what went broken, like the genre stories, Western, sci-fi, mystery novels, something breaks in them and they don't go the way that the tropes normally go, so the genre nauts have to go in and fix what went wrong. And the bit he read sounded really cool. Now, I'm almost done, guys. I'm amazed. If you follow me on Twitter, you may have seen me really excited a couple weeks ago about the book Robots vs. Fairies. I got my copy the day it came out in the mail, and it is a short story collection where some authors take the side of robots and some authors take the side of fairies. And it there's Sarah Gailey, Max Gladstone, Jim Hines, Ken Liu, Shauna McGuire, John Scalzi, Catherine Valente, Annalee Newes, Mary Robinette Qua are just among the authors in here. And 6 of the authors and the 2 editors of the book were at the con. So I got to hear, they did a reading session of the book where each of the authors read a 5-minute segment of their story. And the authors that were there were Delilah S. Dawson, Sarah Gailey. I gotta reverse. I have to go in the order that they were at the table. Delilah S. Dawson, Max Gladstone, Annalee Newitz, John Scalzi, Jim Hines, and Sarah Gailey. And Novel Wolf and Dominic Parisian, who are the editors of the book, were all there. So I got to hear all those 6 authors read 5-minute segments of the story. I also, as a bonus, the previous night before that, got to hear Sarah Gailey read her entire story of it. And let me tell you, it is fantastic. She writes a fairy story, and it is dark and creepy, and the way she read it was just so engaging. But I was also able to get, obviously, since they were all there, some of them signed here, some of them signed at their story, some of them signed here and at their story, so I was able to get all 8 of their autographs, the 6 authors and the 2 editors. So that was pretty awesome. And in the dealer room, Dominic Parisian and Novel Wolf have another short story collection that they edited called The Starlit Wood, and the big pile of books just fell, that I picked up too, so I was able to get the 2 of them to sign this, and Charlie Jane Anders is in this, and she signed it. So that was pretty cool. Oh, and Amal El Motar and Max Gladstone are both in this too, and they were at the con and they signed it. So I was able to get quite a few books signed, and now the Subterranean Press guest of honor. Subterranean Press always brings a guest of honor to this con. So their guest of honor was Jim Butcher. So I got to meet Jim Butcher very briefly. I didn't go to any of the panels he was on, but I did go to the autograph session, and I was able to get my old mass market paperback of Stormfront signed by him, and my copy of The Aeronaut's Windlass signed by him. So that was cool. He hit, the line for him was just huge, and I ended up being able to get first in line because my buddy was the one setting up the room, and he was the one who booked all the authors except for the Subterranean Press ones. And of course, people were trying to just go in the room when they weren't set up. So I kind of helped my buddy out and just kind of started a line and kind of blocked the door so that only helped try to let the authors in, so that people knew that we weren't allowed in yet. So I ended up being able to be first in line and get Jim Butcher's autograph out of the way first, and not have to wait in the super long line for him before I could go around and get all the other people I wanted. And that is it. Let's see. I was at 7.5 minutes. I'm at 23.5 right now. So I did that in 16 minutes? That's pretty good for me for that many books. That should have been like 40 minutes. The only other, and I'll just cover the rest of my January book haul right now. The only other books I have picked up in January, physical books anyway. I may do a Kindle haul, I may not. That gets tough sometimes. But I got I Hear Your Voice by Young-Ha Kim and translated by Chris Lee. This is the February pick for Russell and Incan Paper Blogs Around the World in 1,000 Pages, so I'm super excited about this one. And my Book of the Month club pick this month was called As Bright as Heaven by Susan Meisner, and I also, as an extra, picked up The Music Shop by Rachel Joyce. And that's it. That's the entire January book haul, including my massive convention book haul. I'm not going to waste any more time here. I'm going to sign off. Thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you. Welcome to all my new subscribers. Again, thank you to all my current subscribers and ones that have been with me for a while. It means a lot to me that you're all with me. And again, thank you to everybody who has given me a shout out and helped my channel grow. You're all fantastic. I'll see you all in my next video.